Hello, everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. All times for this overview will be in Pacific time. The week begins on Monday, September the 1st, 2025, and the moon starts the work week on Monday in friendly, optimistic Sagittarius. This sign is adventurous and outgoing. The moon is making the best flow of energy to Mercury in the early evening, and Mercury is the mind, while Sagittarius is the eternal student, so this can be a great day for any kind of learning. Saturn is on the move in the early hours of Monday and enters Pisces at 1:07 a.m. Saturn has been in fiery Aries since May 24th, and Saturn is realistic and practical and is bringing lessons around identity and taking the initiative in Aries. Saturn comes back to Pisces, which is the last sign of the zodiac, and is a karmic spiritual sign. Saturn first entered Pisces in March of 2023, and this is the end of a cycle. Pisces is more introverted, while Aries is extroverted. So a lot of what has happened with Saturn in Pisces has been behind the scenes, quiet and internal. But it's big since it's the end of a cycle, likely a karmic cycle, a spiritual cycle, or a subconscious cycle. The last few years have been a period of deep release. This picks back up again with Saturn coming back to Pisces until February 13th, 2026, so it's over 5 more months to wrap things up. On Monday, the moon will leave Sagittarius and enter practical Capricorn at 6:45 p.m., but just before it does, it will square or be at a hard angle to Saturn now in Pisces at 6:39 p.m., so just a few minutes before the moon changes signs. They are both at the last degree of their signs for this hard aspect, so there's a lot of tension here. Energy can restrict emotionally, and it can trigger what is bottled up. This might end up being pushed away, though, with the moon so quickly changing signs, yet it might be something that is tied to karma and needs to be worked on later. Responsibilities can also get more attention. With the moon moving to Earth sign Capricorn, this can ground, center, and bring practical focus. Capricorn is realistic and responsible, so it can help with the responsibilities you might have to focus on. The moon continues in Capricorn on Tuesday, so take time to work on your long-term goals and plans, to be practical and realistic, and to be grounded. The moon will make the best flow of energy to the sun at 3:23 p.m., and this is a day where things are more effortless and flow more easily. When the moon is in harmony with the sun, everything feels more easygoing and good emotionally. Mercury changes signs on Tuesday, leaving fiery Leo and entering earthy Virgo at 6:23 a.m. Mercury has been in Leo since June 26th, which is a long time for Mercury to spend in one sign. Mercury likes to move quickly, but Mercury was retrograde in Leo from July 17th to August 11th. This means Mercury was appearing to move backward, and backward motion can throw things off, giving challenging energy for communication and expression with Mercury. That's over, and Mercury is itching to move to a new sign and be done with Leo, so it can feel like a breath is finally released after some of the challenges of the last couple of months. Mercury in Virgo places Mercury in one of the signs it naturally rules, so Mercury can feel at home in this Earth sign. Virgo is service-oriented and work-oriented, so Mercury in Virgo helps with getting work done and being of service. With Virgo, pay attention to the details and be practical. Mercury in Virgo is going to be in conflict with Uranus in Gemini, though at 12:40 a.m. on Wednesday. It's the overnight hours of Tuesday going into Wednesday, but it'll probably be felt as soon as Mercury enters Virgo. And for most of Wednesday, Mercury in conflict with Uranus can bring tension in communications and conversations. There can be surprising news and unexpected information shared that can be alarming. Uranus can provoke impulse and rebellion, but it's important to keep this under control to avoid chaos. This conflict is likely pushing you to think outside the box or alter your perspective to one that better aligns with what's coming. The moon remains in Capricorn all day Wednesday, so this can help with trying to manage everything responsibly and in a practical, disciplined way. On Thursday, the moon moves from practical Capricorn to innovative Aquarius at 3:32 a.m. Capricorn is tradition, the tried and true, and the conventional, while Aquarius is the unconventional, the future, and quirky. Embrace change and see what can be done differently. The Aquarius moon will make a favorable sextile to Neptune in Aries, will make the best flow of energy to Uranus in Gemini, and will align with Pluto in Aquarius. This is in effect from about 5 o'clock to 9 a.m. Dreamy Neptune triggers imagination, while liberating Uranus triggers thoughts of the future. The moon crossing over Pluto can trigger intense, private energies that are good for analyzing emotions and being objective. It can be a favorable time for a deep, heartfelt conversation with a friend, a therapy session, or even an astrology reading to explore your depths. Assertive Mars is in conflict with expansive Jupiter at 7:59 p.m. on Thursday, and this can bring really good feelings, strong optimism, and the feeling that everything will be okay. The trouble is, there may not be a lot of motivation to take action, so it can feel like things will work out on their own. Try to assess realistically whether or not that is actually the case. If sitting back is the right call, this is a good time for it. If you need to take action, try to find the inspiration needed for it. On Friday, the moon continues in Aquarius, so be unconventional. Look toward your future and what you hope for and dream about. Consider hanging out with groups or with friends, or even spending time online engaging and conversing. The moon will make the best flow of energy to Mars at 1:51 p.m., giving a boost of energy and excitement. Take the initiative with something small that you can make progress with very quickly from noon to about 2. The moon turns void of course at 1:51 p.m. on Friday, lasting for the rest of the day. The void of course moon means it's not making any aspects to other planets until it changes signs, so there's no activity for the moon. As a rule of thumb, you generally don't want to start any new projects under a void moon period, and the energy is more unproductive. It's usually best spent in reflection and introspection, maintaining your routine, and doing soul-searching. This becomes even more true with Uranus turning retrograde at 9:51 p.m. Uranus is going to have this backward motion until February 3rd, 26. Uranus rules change, so Uranus retrograde stalls change. This can be a chance to adjust to changes that have already happened, but it can also be frustrating and impulsive if desired changes have to be put on hold. Have patience and do all the prep work needed to be able to jump on changes you want when you have the chance next year. Also notice that both Saturn in Pisces and Uranus retrograde this week will both last until February. The events of this week may have an overarching effect for the next 5.5 months, so pay close attention to developments this week. The moon remains void until 8:54 a.m. on Saturday when it enters sensitive Pisces. Things can seem slow to start the day, and many of you might prefer to sleep in if you can. With the moon in water sign Pisces, this is favorable for creative projects, for being caring and supportive of loved ones, and for being introverted and introspective. The moon is in conflict with Uranus at 11:26 a.m., and this is with Uranus now retrograde. Hard Uranus breeds rebellion, impulse, and impatience. Try to channel this into a small change that can be accomplished today, within a few hours. This begins as soon as the moon enters Pisces until about 1. The moon continues in Pisces on Sunday, and there's a Pisces lunar eclipse at 11:09 a.m. Lunar eclipses occur with full moons, and there are usually 2, as much as 4, each year. Eclipses occur in sets, so there will be a solar eclipse 2 weeks later, and they occur roughly every 6 months. Lunar eclipses are strong emotional energy, and with this one in Pisces, that means extra emotional sensitivity. With Saturn coming back to Pisces on Monday, and this Pisces lunar eclipse, this is huge karmic energy. Everyone is likely to feel that something is being cleared out at a soul level. Pay attention to your dreams and intuition, since this is going to be strong. Be gentle with loved ones and with yourself. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week with the next segment. Until then, be safe and well.